Hello and welcome back to Game Logic Design. This is the small tutorial series on the paintbrush. Right now we're going to go over the symmetry settings with the paintbrush. So this has been covered slightly in the initial intro video there, but we'll just go over it in a little bit more detail. But basically, if you've used the sculpting system at all, then you will already be familiar with all the symmetry settings. So here I'm doing a paint stroke. And I can turn on X, I can turn on Y. I'm just doing these with hotkeys, by the way. I'll say that, yeah, there's Y. I can turn on Z as well. I could check it up here, or I can just press Alt and Z on my keyboard, and it'll now be going all over the model. Obviously, the more brushes we get, the slower it's going to get, but you can see it's not too bad here. The response is okay. Let's undo that fantastic artwork. So we're back down to a single brush stroke now. And I'm just going to enable the radial settings here. And let's crank this up to maybe 8. And if I do a brush and a stroke, it's going to do, the radial strokes that you would normally get with sculpting, but it's obviously painting texture. Now let's turn on the custom radial. So here it enables me to middle mouse button click, or on the Wacom, I've got that set on my pen here. I can just click and I can do a click and drag and click and drag. So this custom point option here is new to R17 as well. So it enables you to set a point where you want your radial brush to start sculpting around. But in here, we're not sculpting, we're painting. So we can do the same with painting. Let me make a smaller brush. And you can make some nice kind of flowery patterns just by doing, a simple circular stroke. Now we'll go over to the normal kind of XY radial kind of brushes that everyone's kind of familiar with here. So here we can radially draw down the surface of the model. Now I've got the UV mesh turned off here, and I can turn that on again, but I've turned it off basically because I've got a more higher detailed sphere here, so I could just show that it works with a object with a lot more polygons as well. I can even turn on the mesh here as well as a reduced number of polygons. So I'll just turn it off again just so it's less confusing. And we've obviously got the Y. And we've got the Z and the X there as well. And it all works with symmetry as well. So let's turn on the symmetry and we can do some nice kind of patterns going down the side of our sphere. So you've got the other options here that you can also use if you want to play around with any of those things as well. And of course you can do the offsets for the symmetry in world space, local space, and work plane. We'll go over those later on because they're not very vital with this basic overview that we're doing, but it just means if you want to set your orientation about where you want to paint, you've got a bit more control. There's actually sculpting videos as well on this which show you how to do those.